Hey YouTube, my name is Danielle Cirino and I am the founder of What About That Woman. Welcome to my channel where you can find real talk from single moms. And today on our channel we have an interview from Nicole McKim. Nicole is about to be my aunt-in-law and I'm so glad that we were able to connect. She has been an inspiration to me as a single mom, and even with dating her nephew, she's been an inspiration, and I wanted her to come on and just talk about her story. So thank you, Nicole, for taking the interview.
You're welcome.
And can you just tell me a little bit about yourself and your single mom journey?
Okay, well, I'm a single mom. Well, I was a single mom of 3 children. That's a mess up. But anyway, I'm a single mom of 3 children. Recently married for 2 years. Let's see, I decided to go back to school and pursue a degree in psychology. And that's been a journey because originally I didn't want to leave small children to go to school because I really didn't have that support system, you know, to return to school. I tried it once and it did not work. So, you know, here I am now. My kids are teenagers and they're able to, you know, take care of themselves and, you know, without my assistance. So that's pretty much, you know, where I am now, you know.
Do you think because they're older now it makes you easier to go after your dreams?
Yes and no, because they are teenagers. So you still have to have that third eye on them, and it's kind of difficult when you're sitting in a classroom and they're home. You know, you never know who they may be bringing in, if they're trying to sneak out but beat you back home. So, you know, it's still that uncertainty, but, you know, you have to trust them ultimately. So, you know, for the most part, I have good kids. You know, they can be a little sneaky, but
like any other kid.
But if I don't, you know, pursue my dream now, then when will I have the chance? So, you know, I had to. This is the time I felt was best for me to go after what I want.
Okay, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And so, like growing up, did you have, because I know your kids are teens, so when they were younger, did you have people around to help you out, or did you have to do everything on your own?
Well, for the most part, I had, my first son I was 19, about to turn 20. And it was a little difficult because my mom was a little disappointed at the fact that I decided to have a baby instead of going to college. I was due to go to Eastern University. But I ended up getting pregnant during that summer. So I was like, well, I'll take the summer off. But, you know, it was like, well, this is your baby. You had him. You know, you figure it out. You know, she did help out, but it was on her terms. When she felt as though she wanted to help out. It wasn't necessarily all the time when I needed her to, you know. I mean, I was still a teenager, you know, trying to figure it out, figure out who I am, and then turn around and be a mom too. So that was definitely difficult. I did have help from a lot of my friends.
That's good.
So,
like your teenage friends helped you out?
Yes, and you know, their parents, you know, helped out, especially when it was time for me to go to work. You know, so they would watch my son, you know, for me, and even watch him when I wanted to go out and party. So yeah, it wasn't all the time, but it was definitely a blessing when it did come around. And his dad helped out at first, but it was based on me being with him, and that wasn't the case at the time. So he helped out as long as he felt as if me and him was going to be together. So, but I had somewhat, I can say, a support system, but it wasn't what I really needed, because there was a time where I actually had to quit my job and be a full-time mom. You know, at 3 months old, my son was diagnosed with asthma. So that was difficult. You know, it's like every couple months we were in the emergency room, you know, because he had an asthma attack. or whatever. So that was definitely difficult, and it caused me to have to take off of work.
Right.
So I was like, well, he needs me to be home with him full time. But what I can say is, although my mom did not really watch my son as much, she supported me.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing or not. I do say that in some aspects, I think that she kind of hindered me because I stayed home a lot longer than what I should have because she supported me. So it was like one of those things where you take care of your son and I'll help you take care of you, like one of those kind of deals.
So can you tell me, like, how did she support you? Like, can you give some detail?
Well, she paid my phone bill.
Okay.
She would give me, you know, a little extra money. It wasn't a whole lot, but, you know, she would help put a couple dollars in my pocket, you know, here and there. She made sure that, you know, I still ate, you know, that I had clothes to wear.
Right.
It may not have been the type of, you know, clothes that I would choose to wear, but she gave me enough money to buy something.
Okay.
You know, so that way I could spend, you know, my public assistance, because that's what I was getting, public assistance at the time, on my son.
Right,
You know, because WIC only carries you so far.
True.
You know, food stamps only come once a month. You know, and then you get the little, I think at that time it was like $150 every 2 weeks. Like, honestly, how can you survive off of $300 a month and it's you and a child?
Right.
You know, that's just not feasible. So, you know, she helped out in that area.
Okay. Well, like, I mean, some people don't have that.
Yeah.
So that's a blessing.
Yeah.
But how would you say your relationship with your child's father was from birth until now?
Well, I have two fathers. My first son, our relationship, we don't have a relationship at all.
Okay. Is that something that you want for your co-parenting?
Co-parenting, I would have preferred that he shared equal responsibility.
Right.
Like I said before, his parenting style was based solely off of if we were going to be together. And I didn't want to be with him.
Right.
You know, so he did what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. You know, he had to pay child support.
Right.
And that came when he decided to pay it. You know, there was times where, you know, I really needed a break because I'm a mom Monday through Sunday.
Right.
I get no break, you know, and those times where he says like, oh, I'm going to come get him, and I get him dressed, and here it is, you know, 2 o'clock past. Now it's 10 o'clock at night.
Right. That's,
you know,
crazy.
So my son is in the window waiting for his dad to come, who never shows up.
Right.
You know, so I gotta wait for him to fall asleep just to take his coat off. You know, so that really, I really despised him for that. You know, because now I had to do damage control, and it's hard to do damage control when a kid wants to see their other parent.
Right.
Because they don't want to hear anything you have to say. It's, well, my dad said it.
Right.
You know, and you want to be like, well, your dad didn't come, you know, and you can't get angry at the child for wanting to see their other parent.
Right.
So that was definitely difficult. And once my son was able to really communicate very well, that's when the communication honestly stopped between me and his dad. It was more so, call your dad, you know, if your dad's going to come get you, then let me know what time he's going to come get you, let me know, but I wish not to talk to him.
Right.
And even up through, you know, growing up, I tried to incorporate him in raising our son.
Okay.
It was like, oh, okay. He'll call him up, oh, whatever, you know, yelling at him like you're really the dad of the year. You know? But you haven't called him in the last 2 months just to even see how he's doing.
Right.
You know, how's his grades? You know, there was a time where you didn't even know what school he went to.
And this is the child with asthma, right?
Yes, this is my oldest son. And you didn't stop to back, but yet here he is in a relationship with a woman with kids.
Yeah, that's hard.
So how do you not be a father to your own, but then help another woman parent her kids?
Right.
You know, so
and even her as a woman, like
how
can you let, knowing that he has another son, why can't you incorporate them with your kids?
Right. And my son is his only child.
Wow.
So it's not like he has other children to divide his time, you know, with. It's just him.
Right.
So you can't get it right, you know? So that it was definitely hard because I really couldn't call him and say, hey, you know, I have to go to work, I need you to watch him.
Right.
I need you to get him, or, you know, no. If it wasn't about him doing what he wanted to do with his son when he wanted to do it, nothing else mattered.
Okay.
You know? So, and then as my son got older, you know, he started to realize, like, okay, my dad is just full of smoke, you know? And their relationship now is not the best. My son will be 22. You know? So they still don't have a good relationship. He's like, no, that's my pop.
Right.
It's not my dad. That's my pop. You know, and I'm like, well, you know, regardless of what, that's still your dad. That's me being me, you know, not wanting to be the deciding factor of, hey, I don't want you to have anything to do with your son, but allowing my son to figure out for himself that, okay, this is all his doing. It's not my mom's doing. So, but he did come to his 12th grade graduation.
That's good.
I did not want him there, but you know, that was not my choice.
Yeah. Because you did all the work for all those years, 18 years, and then he gets to come and enjoy.
You didn't come to a school play. You didn't come to a school choir assembly.
Right.
You know, you didn't attend any of that. You didn't come to a football game. You didn't come to a doctor's appointment. You know, when I'm sitting in the hospital and he's having an asthma attack, okay, hold on, let me backtrack. Let me rescind that. He attended a couple.
Okay.
But a couple's not enough.
Right.
You know, and especially when I started to date again, and here it is, the person that I'm with is at every appointment.
Right.
If I couldn't make it, he was taking him to the doctors. That's not his son.
Right.
You know, so why should he pick up the pieces for someone else, you know?
Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel about with Mark, which is my fiance. And I feel like Naya's dad needs to step up and go to some of the events at her daycare, some of the trips that she has. I shouldn't have to take off for every trip. Like, get involved in her life. You can't just get her every other weekend and think that that's okay. And I feel some type of way because I'm grateful that Mark is stepping up as her father while she's with me. Well, as her stepfather almost. But it kind of hurts me, like, I want her dad to be in her life and be that father that he's supposed to be.
Right.
But, you know, you're still grateful for the men that come in your life and help you.
Right, true, absolutely. So I have 2 other children, and they are by my ex. And initially, he was a good dad, hands-on. But there were some things in his life that, you know, took control.
Okay.
So, you know, that kind of dissolved our relationship. But my oldest son calls him dad because that's the person who he looks up to. You know, that's the person who, you know, came to his school, took him to school in the morning, picked him up, you know, took him to the doctor's visits and different things like that, and just interacted with him, you know. So he was that positive role model that he needed at that time, but still that was not his dad.
Right.
You know, so you can't replace someone else with their biological father. It still just doesn't, it does not fill that void that these children are missing by having their father not in their lives. You know, so he stepped up, you know, and he was awesome until some things in his life changed for him. and then he became that guy.
Okay.